Would you like to direct this script?
Probably not, just because the issue in it's not really really interests me that much.
It's nothing.
There's nothing about it, how it's written or anything. It's just I personally don't find the issue to interest me.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, why? Give me a reason.
It seems quite a interesting story, especially with the sort of issues and the characters.
Did you come across any issues?
I came across the issues as a broken family, alcohol, like the dad and everything. Like the dad, something's clearly happened where the dad can't do it anymore. He can't look after the children. He's had to let them go, and it's horrible for them to grow up without any parents, and it makes you wonder where the mum is.
So you came across some issues. Could you tell me a few
I
of them?
think the main issue was probably abandonment. Sort of families, maybe the father struggling to cope and sort of issues surrounding that, perhaps.
Yeah.
Poverty and stuff.
Alright. Do you feel the issues were presented? Were they presented clear?
Yeah, I feel like all the issues in the story are clear.
Yeah. So how do you feel the issues were handled throughout?
I think they were pretty good. It wasn't like played on too much. It wasn't overused.
Yeah.
It was sort of stated and then went on. It was quite good.
And how do you feel they were handled? The issues.
I thought they were handled quite well, like shown not too direct, not too subtle, very nicely.
Yeah.
Perceived. It's just very light. It's just relaxed. It's not too much action, too much drama going on. It's just a nice, equal level.
Yeah. Okay. Was the dialogue realistic in the situations the characters were in?
I think it is realistic. I do think it is, but I don't know why. I have a weird feeling.
Where in the script are you unsure about?
I think towards the end, the ending definitely.
Okay.
Billy and Dylan are having the last conversation.
Bit too much.
I don't know. She says, like when Billy says he's going, and it's like, I just don't understand properly. Like, where's he going? What's happening? I thought they were going together. I don't know how old Billy really is. I think Dylan's a young age. I don't know how old Billy is. He could be a 20-year-old.
Should I state that?
Yes, in the script I think you should state the ages after you said their names.
Okay.
Yeah, I think perhaps at the end when when the two brothers are in the woods,
Yeah.
and they're talking, it might be a tad dramatised.
Yeah.
But it was pretty good.
Alright. Were the issues, back to the issues, were they relatable to what was being represented?
Yeah. As when things were shown, like it would reflect the mood of that kind of situation and the way he takes them back to the place where they had been before.
Issues being represented relatable?
What, to my life?
Yeah, or any other person.
Well, not to my life, no, but there is someone, who could have the same problem, yeah.
Okay. Was there any good balance of interest and explanation?
I do think it was quite a good balance, because I was very interested in the whole thing quite a lot. And it does explain a lot. Obviously, you don't want to explain too much. That's the whole point of a short film. You're meant to just explain it, but you're meant to leave the audience having questions. And obviously, but again, the ending, I didn't like towards the ending, like how that ended.
Okay. Was there a good balance of interest and explanation?
What do you mean by that question?
So maybe it interests you, even though you said the issues
Yeah.
didn't really relate to you and you weren't. But did it explain itself why it was interesting? What was happening? Why it happened?
Yeah, I feel like I understood throughout what was happening, but it did like intrigue me to the, because it kind of ends it on like an open ending. So, if you kind of quite intriguing, like to what would happen to the two. But I feel like the ending maybe could explain more about what's going to happen between the brothers.
All right. Was there a good balance of interest and explanation?
You know,
Yeah. Do you want to point out a few, or where?
I thought a place where I thought it could be explained better was perhaps at the start, whereas whilst the description was pretty good and I could visualise it pretty well, I wasn't extremely I wasn't very sure what was going on, but I did get quite intrigued when the man starts speaking and he's like, I can't look after you both.
Yeah.
Because that's when the main issue first arises.
Yeah. Can you visualise any stakes? Like, were they? What they were?
Would the stakes be sort of the brothers losing their relationship?
Yeah, like the whole task he has to tell his brother that he has to go. So, do you think they're high?
I would say that's pretty high, yeah, because they seem like quite close siblings. So if they lost their
Through
relationship,
the script, you can see that.
Yeah.
Can you visualise any stakes?
Can I like see any stakes?
Yeah. And if they're high, what are they and what makes them?
Mainly the boy and how he's going to grow up. If he hasn't got a mum, he hasn't got a dad, and if his brother's going to go, it's quite a lot of high stakes for him and his future life. And no one sees that now. No one thinks about the future, they just think about the problem. But you need to think of that boy. How is he going to grow up? He can grow up aggressively. If he stays with his dad, as you can see, his dad looks like quite an alcoholic. It's early daytime. He's having a drink of whiskey. It's just, his life could just be completely different. He could not be a nice person. It could just change. And no one's thinking about that. No one's thinking about that child. No one's just acknowledging his life and his future.
So you would say high stakes?
Yeah, I would say high stakes mainly for the young boy, Dylan.